guys.
Yes.
I woke up and I got dressed. Look at me. Look at me. Beautiful Thursday morning. I've actually been here the whole week. It's been so nice. It's been so nice being here. So today I thought I wrote this actually in this week. It's called Glance Back Before Gliding Forward, right? So I will read you a little bit of this and then I will go through it for you. So I used to be a woman who worked in corporate, sexy, ambitious, and always with a side hustle, continuously always striving for the best. I used to party all night and I used to be in the scene. Who I was with mattered more than anything else. That version of me gave birth to this current version of me now, who is a partner in one business and a full owner in another. I'm a mother to a kindest little boy, and I have a stability and calm about me now that never existed. This calm exists because the previous version of me, the ambitious girl who tried everything, has given birth to the self-assured businesswoman who knows who she is and is good at a lot of things, but has decided what is worth her time and discovered her own worth along the way. She now focuses on projects that align to her purpose. What you must understand is the importance of the previous version, because she was the explorer and was always trying out new things and up all night meeting new people. It is because of her that this calmer version understands herself, because she has tried everything. What I'm getting to is that self-love is important because we need to learn to love all versions of you that ever existed. The good, the bad, and the young girl in you. Unfortunately, some of you queens have encountered hardship as young girls. Though what you must understand now as grown women is that children have no control over what happens to them, nor do they have the foresight to be able to assess dangerous situations. Should you as a young girl have found yourself in a dangerous situation, remind yourself that you are not an adult in that situation, so the blame does not fall on you, despite whatever it is that was done to you. We need to forgive all versions of ourselves that ever existed, with the understanding that they gave birth to the versions of ourselves that currently is. I'm a lover of women. I dedicate my time and I personally created a website and a YouTube channel just for the queens. But the same person, the same queen in the past, when experiencing her own personal levels of insecurity, would be found in the company of other women, bad-mouthing other women. I used to have ugly in me, so I could only at times see ugly in other women. Now that I have taken on the journey, the really hard journey of self-love, to heal myself, I've since cured certain parts of me that were insecure. Loving myself has made it easy for me to see beauty in other women because I say to myself, the guilt of who I used to be has to stop. We must strive to be patient with ourselves as we move forward to the versions of ourselves that we hope to be. It is important to note that in order to get to the next phase, we need to be at peace with all of the versions of ourselves. Forgive yourself for all of the situations you found yourself in. Forgive the bad decisions you made as a teenager. Forgive yourself for having made mistakes in love or found yourself in an abusive situation. Forgive her. Forgive the version of you that did not know what you know now. You must understand that everything has a process. Everything has been a process to lead you to be here. The self-love journey is an ugly one because it first takes us back to places that caused us hurt. Do remember though that you can't be this warm, gentle version you seek to be without breaking the walls we created based on past pain. We crave to be women we were born to be. It is our right and our responsibility to fight for the versions of ourselves. Though in order for us to proceed forward, we first need to look back. This is not to punish ourselves, but for us to look at the situation with sober eyes. The grown-up version of yourself can place yourself back and say, there's no way I could have known better. There is no way, there was no one there to teach me better. I did that because I was in so much pain. I did that because I was desperate. I did that because I was lonely. You need to forgive yourself and understand there was a context to each and every situation you found yourself in, or what placed it. Queens, let's be agents of change in our own lives so we can do better in the future. Let us be agents of love within ourselves, going forward, going far back into our past, so we can be able to be true ambassadors of love going forward. Let's be agents of change. Let's be agents of love. Guys, you know my message is the same. I will continue with the self-love journey until all of us, fully grasp it. We as women get told continuously that who we need to be. And that's why we will continuously find ourselves judging ourselves for what we are not. This is what we're placed in. It doesn't matter what it is. It's like the way you dress, we're told that women are supposed to dress in this particular way. Where now who has a child, we're actually supposed to dress in this particular way. We're continuously being told what it is, to continuously being told that we're not enough. So what I'm saying is, let them continue talking. But I want you now to take control of your own life. And say, I'm enough. All of the things that I did to lead me to here had to be done, or else I wouldn't be here. I mean, you've done things with teenagers, but you are a teenager. You are more emotions than sense. So how are you now as a grown woman still assessing yourself in that way? We need to forgive ourselves, because the thing is, if you don't forgive that, you become it. Some women, some girls, when they were young, someone told them that they were ugly. And they continue to believe that. They grow up to be women that continue to believe. But if you don't look back and realize that, as a grown woman, you're not supposed to speak like that to a child. That the actual person that was the bad person in that situation was the adult. But if you don't own that, what you will end up doing is that you will be that aunt to your sister's children. Because if you don't fix it, then you think it's right. That's why it's important to go back, because sometimes you end up repeating the same behavior that was bad, that was done to you. So it's not easy having to go back, guys. But when you go back with sober eyes and realize that you can't change back you can't change back time. You can only move forward. So for instance, if your relationship to this point with your children is not the best, you can't change the past. You now know where you want to go. So now, how do I get there? How do I fix the bond that isn't there? How do I get there with this new information? Now that I realize that I could have played a much more bigger role, I can't change that. I can move forward. I had a conversation with a friend of mine. She's probably going to kill me when she sees this video. And she was saying to me that she was thinking of in her past, and there's an ex-boyfriend she wants to go and apologize to. I was like, what? What now? What? Apologize what? I'm the only person you need to apologize to is yourself. You need to apologize to yourself for the behavior that you did in that situation, not to the person, because the person created the environment that made you like that. Yeah? Because that's what we do when we go back in memory. We only think of the rosy things. Even when you think about your ex, you only think about the nice things. You don't remind yourself why you had to walk away from someone that you love. You don't remind yourself of that pain that made you walk away from someone that you love. The only thing you remember is that you were loved and it was nice. And it's the same thing when we go back into our own memories of things that happened to us. We only remember the pain, but we don't look at the situation fully. If you were lonely and you made the mistake, hi guys, you were lonely. Lonely people make stupid decisions. Forgive yourself. If you were desperate and that's what you had to do, you had to do it. You were trying to survive. How can you punish yourself for that? We need to forgive ourselves. We still need to get to the versions of ourselves that are nice and warm and soft. But we won't be able to get there if we still have these walls. I was in Posno this whole week. Can I tell you how fat I would be if I worked in Posno? Because, you guys know, with me, I like photos. I like looking nice. I like noticing that I'm looking nice. So as I was sitting there judging, I get home and Mrs. Moses sent me photos of me that she took of me without me seeing. Day 2, I'm out there talking there, and then boom, sends me a video of me. I mean, to be loved like this, to be loved every time I looked up, I saw someone that I loved. Every time I looked up, although I was working, and I needed to concentrate, although I was here for a purpose, and I served the purpose that I was in, but it was so nice to look up and see a familiar face. It was so nice. I was smiling in between. But you guys, this is your environment. You guys could have this. This could be your escape, where you go from your families to come here, where you are received by your sisters on a continual basis. As you do the work that you do, it gives you a way to smile. You know, this is the environment that you guys could actually be in. This is what I got to enjoy this whole week. This whole week I was fed. This whole week I would have a cup of tea and someone else would bring me more tea. Like, this is the environment that I was receiving this from people that you work with. Meaning that it's possible. Yeah, amongst you. The only thing that restricts us is based on previous experiences. Yes, sometimes we reach out and we've been rejected. But you're not that person anymore.
Yes.
You're not. You put in work in yourself. So even you are different. So you're not going to get the same. Reach out. Reach out and say, hi, Nana, can I have lunch with you today? You know, can I try out your pap versus my rice? You know, let's have conversations with each other, because I promise you, the people that have answers to all of your problems are in the same room. We as women encounter the same things in different forms. What your one is going through, you have already done with that, you've dealt with it. You did that 10 years ago, meaning you can walk her through it. Do you understand? You want to be as innocent looking as a boy. Who does that every day? Walk with her, let her show you how to do the hair, how to do the things. She pops. I didn't even recognize the day because they watched it not me. I was like, hey, but confuse the queen. Confuse them. What I want to go back to with this is that take time with yourself, you know, sit in a bar and think of yourself from when you were a young girl, the environment that you found yourself in. Home environment sometimes are toxic. Home is not a good place, not for all of us, you know. When some of us think home, it triggers different, you know. But I want you to look at the child in that situation. And I want you to assure her. Because look at who you've grown up to be. Despite that, some of you were told you're not going to amount to anything. Look at you now. Huh? So you need to be able to reassure her and tell her that, you know what, despite the situation that you are in, it gets better because of God. So you need to go back to all of those versions of yourself. Go back to that mistake you made. And you know, when I say mistake, there's that mistake that comes to mind. Go back to that. Relax into that. Look at that situation wholly. How old were you? You know, how much support did you have around you? Did you have anyone to teach you better? Could you have done better? You know, look at that situation and then accept the pain that comes with it. But ultimately, forgive yourself. The reason why we struggle relating with each other is because each one holds a particular pain and wound from way back. And continuously, we keep on stepping on each other's pain because you don't tell me what your story is. And so I end up hurting you without it being my intention. Because you don't open up to me. You know, I don't know when you abandoned. So me having to come through late to our meeting triggers something in you. But if I knew that about you, I wouldn't do that. Do you understand? We all walk with our different pains, and that's why I've been so excited because this is a community of women. Women in all of history have been known to share. You know, share food, share clothes, share pain. You know, share your hope. Queens, I really know I love you. I am grateful to God for all that. Like, I look back now, and when I was in those moments of having to lose my family and having to lose my mother, my grandmother, everyone. I look back now, I can stand here and say, had that not happened, I wouldn't be here. Do I wish I could? I can't. But I'm here, look at what that journey has led me to. I could have stayed in a painful situation and every time anyone passes, I could see you looking for something, I'm like, oh, my parents died, I don't know. And it would have been a story that stays for years. It would have been a story that stays for years. But it's a pain that I'm like, okay, all of these people didn't get a chance to get to know my mother and grandmother, I will teach you. You know what I mean? So we need to be able to understand that the things that happened had to lead us here. I now know you. I now am surrounded by love. I lost people that I can count with my one hand, and I have people that I wouldn't be able to count with if I tried. Let's move forward, but before we do, let's quickly glance back, ladies. Let's quickly glance back, queens, so that we can strive for your confidence and be agents of change. Agents of love, agents of love.